Now let us see the types of suppository bases. So you'll be having three types of suppository bases: oily base or oleogenous base, water soluble and water miscible base or hydrophilic bases, and emulsifying or synthetic bases. So first of all, what you have to know, what is the action of these bases. So I have already explained you that bases will be given along with the drug. That means you are having the active drug will be there, along with that you will be having the base. So what these bases will do, whenever you give into the urethral route or vaginal route or rectal route, according to the temperature it will start melting in your body. Once it starts melting, whatever the drug that is there in that, it also will start melting in that temperature and it will exert their action. So let us see what are the different types of bases and the classification. Oily bases or oleogenous bases are of three types, that is cocoa butter or theobroma oil, emulsified cocoa butter and hydrogenated oils. So coming to the cocoa butter or theobroma oil, cocoa butter is the fat obtained from the Theobroma cocoa. At room temperature it is yellowish color having a faint agreeable chocolate flavor, and chemically it is a triglyceride glycerin and one of the different fatty acids of oleopalmitostyrene and oleopalmitostearic acid, and it melts at 30 to 35 degrees centigrade. And what are the advantages of this means, it has a melting just below the body temperature, maintains the solidity at usual room temperature, and it readily liquefy on heating and solidify on cooling. And coming to the disadvantages, rancidity is a major problem, and whenever during the preparation of the suppositories you can see the suppository will be sticking to the molds, and the leakage from the body cavity is a major problem, and it is very costly and immiscible with the body fluids, and chloral hydrate or lactic acid liquefy it. So these are all some of the disadvantages, you can see that. So in order to rectify that one, we have to prepare, whenever you are giving through any route, you have to prepare a suitable dose, that means suitable base should be present. Okay, next, emulsified cocoa butter or emulsified theobroma oil. So this is used as a base when large quantities of aqueous solutions are to be incorporated. 5% glycerin monostearate, 10% lannate wax, 2 to 3% cetyl alcohol, and 4% beeswax is recommended for emulsified theobroma oil. And coming to the hydrogenated oils, hydrogenateds are used as a substitute of theobroma oils. Example like hydrogenated edible oil, coconut oil, hydrogenated pea oil, and stearic acid and palm kernel oil. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of this? So overheating does not affect the solidifying point. They are resistant to oxidation. Lubrication of the mold is not required. Their emulsifying and water absorbing capacity are good. So these are the advantages. And coming to the disadvantages, on rapid cooling they become brittle. When melted they are more fluid than theobroma oil and result in greater sedimentation of the added substance. So that is nothing but whenever they start melting, so you can see more amount of drug will be settling down. So this is a major disadvantages you can see. And coming to the water soluble or water miscible or hydrophilic bases, these are again of three types: glycerogelatin, glycerin, and polyethylene glycol. Glycerogelatin is nothing but you will be having glycerin with water along with gelatin. So the mixture of these three will constitute the glycerogelatin basis. So this is a mixture of glycerin and water which is made stew by the addition of the gelatin. So properties, it is colorless, transparent and translucent in nature. It is soft to touch and it melts at 30 to 35 degrees centigrade, and it is mainly used for the vaginal suppositories. So you can easily remember this one, glycerogelatin, because the combination of the glycerin gelatin along with the water itself. And coming to the advantages, it melts at body temperature, it will mix with the body fluid, it will not get rancid, and it can be used to prepare suppositories during boric acid, chloral hydrate, etc. And coming to the disadvantages, difficult to prepare, chance of bacterial growth, laxative in action, incompatible with tannic and ferric acid chloride. Coming to the macrogols, these are commonly known as carbowaxes or polyglycols. These are available in solid, liquid or semi-solid state depending upon the molecular weight. So it will be around 200 to 1000, which are called as liquids, and if they have higher than 1000 they are called as the solids, wax-like solids. They are chemically stable and physiologically inert substances and do not allow the bacterial or mold growth to take place. So coming to the advantages, so all will be having the same advantages only. They are chemically stable, inert, and do not allow the bacterial growth, provides prolonged action, do not stick to the mold, etc. And coming to the emulsifying and synthetic bases, these are again of three types: Vitapsol, mesacetylenum, and mesopol. So advantages, so they solidify rapidly, they are non-irritant, the lubrication is not required, overheating does not affect the physical properties, they can absorb fairly large amount of water or aqueous liquids, and they are less liable to get rancid. And disadvantages of the emulsifying bases, they should not be cooled rapidly in a refrigerator to become brittle, they are not very viscous on melting, so the medicaments incorporated with the base settle down rapidly. And Vitapsol, this is the consists of triglycerides of saturated vegetable fatty acid with varying percentage of partial esters. A small amount of beeswax is added for use in hot climate. It should not be cooled rapidly as it becomes brittle and fracture, and lubrication is required whenever you use Vitapsol as a base. And Masa Esterinium, so this is a mixture of three types, that is mono, di and triglycerides of saturated fatty acids. So it is white colored, brittle, and it is almost odorless and tasteless, and the melting point is around 33.5 to 35.5 degrees centigrade. They are available in various grades, but grade B is commonly used in method of preparations. And these are some of the bases which you are going to see. So along with the bases, we have to know the method of preparation of the suppositories. So generally you will be having three methods, like hand rolling, fusion method, and cold compression method. So coming to hand rolling, you can see in the diagram. So you have to take the active ingredient, along with the active ingredients you should add the base to that one. So whenever you have added the base, so it will be forming like a dough. Okay, like a dough you have to prepare, and with the hand only you have to prepare like a rolls by hand rolling only. So you can see in the diagram, so slowly you have to do the rolls, and from that rolls you have to prepare the suppositories. Okay, so the mass is then formed into a ball into the palm of the hand, then rolled in a uniform cylinder with large spatula or small flat board on its pill tile. The cylinder is then cut into appropriate number of pieces which are rolled on one end to produce the conical shape. Effective hand rolling requires considerable practice and skill. So slowly with your hands only you have to make it as a conical shape. So next, coming to the fusion method, melting the suppositories base and dispersing or dissolving the drug in the melted base, the mixture is removed from the heat and poured into a suppository mold, allowing the melt to congeal. Removing the formed suppositories from the mold, the fusion method can be used with all types of suppositories and must be used most of them. So small scale molds are capable of producing 6 or 12 suppositories, and industrial molds produce hundreds of suppositories from a single molding. So this is a fusion method which we can do in our laboratory also. So this is the instrument which you can see. So first two parts will be there. So you have to join the two parts. In the middle you have to pour the whatever the drug and the base you have prepared, you have to pour in the middle. So once you have poured, it will become like a thick substance. After keeping for certain time inside the cooling surface, or if you keep at the normal room temperature, they'll be get solidified. So after solidification you have to remove the instruments, they have to separate the instrument, then you can see the formation of the suppositories. Next, cold compression method. So the compression molding is prepared suppositories by using a machine. Cold compression machine will be there. So the friction of the process causes the base to soften. On a small scale, a mortar and pestle may be used to prepare the softening base, and large scale mechanically needed vessels will be there. In the compression machine, the suppository mass is placed into a cylinder which is then closed, and with the help of that compression machine they will compress that one to produce the suppositories. So when the die is filled with the mass, a movable end plate at the back of the die is removed, and when added pressure it is applied to the mass in the cylinder, the formed suppositories are ejected. So the end plate is returned and the process is repeated until all suppository mass has been used. Okay, so these are all the method of preparation methods of your suppositories. So you have to write about these things, giving a suitable diagram. So here you can use this diagram to give, and here you can also draw with your hand only, like a machine will be there, one instrument will be there which is going to separate. After separation you will be getting the different types of suppositories. Okay, so this is about your different types of bases and your method of preparation of your suppositories.